Welcome children. Yesterday we learned about graphical method, mainly the rules how rules where we learn how to plot graphs of or graph of pair of linear equations in two variables. Okay, so three rules we learned yesterday. So today we will follow those rules to plot graph. But if you remember, yesterday I told you 2 points about the graphical method. There's two things that we need to do in graphical method other than the rules, three rules that will be there, but besides that I told you two things that we need to do in graphical method. Okay, the first was to plot graph, only to plot graph from the situations like uh, you may get statement based questions. So using statement based question, you need to form equation first, pair of linear equations, and then to plot graph. Or there may be situation where you will get equations, algebraic equations will be given to you, and using those equations you need to plot the graph. Okay, so today we'll see both type, means both the thing, plotting graph from statement based question and from the ready-made pair of linear equation, and after that only we'll go for the graphical solution, meaning solution of the pair of linear equations using the graph. Okay, so today we will learn the plotting of graph only. So for that uh, I already kept one example, one question. So let's see the question. Yeah, this is the question, one example I took. So through this example we'll try to understand how to form equation and to plot graph for those pair of linear equations. Okay, so this is one statement based problem, statement based question. So question says a father is 6 times as old as his son. 4 years hence he will be 4 times as old as his son. Okay, so there are two statements in this question. Father is 6 times as old as his son. The first statement, this will give you one linear equation in two variables. Then another statement, we have 4 years hence he will be 4 times as old as his son. So the second statement, which will give you the second equations, linear equations in two variables. Okay, so these two statements will give you two linear equations in two variables. So pair of linear equation you will get. So every time whenever we deal with statement based question, you'll always find two statements there, and those statements will help you to get the equation first. That's why according to that rule what we learned yesterday, the first rule was to obtain the pair of linear equations. So statement will help you. Now after that, say what is written here, represent this situation algebraically and graphically. So meaning is that you need to form, algebraically means you need to form pair of linear equations, and then using those equations you need to plot graph, so graphically. So we need to represent, here we require to represent these statements in equation form algebraically and in graphical form graphically. Okay, so let's see how to do such question. Solution. So first, since this is a problem, statement based question, so we'll try to convert or represent this into algebraic linear equation. Okay, so first if you see here, they say it, there's a age comparison between father and son. So two persons are there. So that's why two variables we are means we are talking about. In two variables, two quantities must be given. There must be comparison between two quantities. So here quantities, we cannot say quantities, but the we can say that comparisons are done between father and son. So one will be x, the other one will be y. So for x and y, you must need two entity. Okay. So father and son. So let's start in this way. Let the present age of the father. So we'll start this way. Present age. First we will write the present age of both. Let the present age of father be x years. Okay, so this is the assumed age, present age. Let the present age of the son be y years. So we assume both the ages, or we can say present ages of father and son, x and y. Now these two quantity we will compare and form the equation. Okay, so let's go to the first statement now. First statement says a father is 6 times as old as son. Very simple. The age of father is 6 times more than the age of the son. That's the meaning. 6 times. 6 times means you need to multiply 6 there. 6 to the age of the son. Example, if the age of son is 5, the son is 5 years old, then the father will be 6 times older than the son. So 6 times means 5. 6 we will multiply to the 5, age of the son. So 6 into 5, 30. So age of father will be 30. So that's one example. So let's see. Here we are not interested in finding the solution of this equation. Okay, solution we are not going to find. We just want to form a pair of linear equation, that is algebraically, and then we will plot the graph. That much only. We will not find the solution in such question because it is not asked here to find the solution. Okay, so this simply say it represent this situation. Okay, so we assume father is x years and the son as y years. Now let's go for the first statement, father. So I will write here then means according to the question. The first statement, father is 6 times as old as his son. So here age of father. So what was the present age of father? X. So we'll write x. Is, here is, we can use equal to sign, is 6 times 6 into as old as his son. So we can easily make out age of the son. So this first statement is about the present age. Okay, so present age of father is x, and the present age of son is y. So now see here, father, this is the present age of father. Age of father is equal to 6 times into present age of the son. Okay, so this is how we convert statement into equation, or now we converted this statement algebraically here. Now let's write in the standard form. This implies x. Now 6 into y, we know is 6y only, 6y. Now bring it to left hand side. This was plus here, so minus 6y is equal to 0. We don't have any other term. So this is the first equation we got. Okay, so this is how we convert statement into equation. So this is a linear equation in two variable x and y. Okay, first equation we got. Now we'll go to the second statement. Second statement says 4 years hence. Hence, it means after, later. No? So 4 years later, he, here he stands for the father. Father will be 4 times. Earlier it was 6 times here. Now this is 4 times. 4 times as old as his son. No? Now after 4 years, according to the second statement, what we understand here is after 4 years, father will be 4 times as old as his son. Okay. So now since they say it here 4 years after, so we'll write here accordingly after 4 years. Okay. Now we will find out the ages of not find out, we will write the ages of father and son in terms of this x and y after 4 years. Okay, so after 4 years we'll write here age of father, age of father. The present age was x. Suppose his father is now his father is x years old. X years old now means present. So after 4 years means after 4 years, what we need to do? We just need to add 4. Suppose the father is 40 years now. Now the age of father is 40. After 4 years means we need to add 4. 40 plus 4, 44. 44 years. So in the same way here, present age was x. So after 4 years, the age of father will be x plus 4. So that is simple to understand. This is the age of father after 4 years. Okay, if it is 10 years after, we'll add x plus 10. And what if the age is suppose we want to find age years back, some years back, like instead of 4 years hence, if you get question like 4 years ago, here in place of hence if you get ago, before, in that case you need to use minus sign. Okay, so this you should keep in mind. It's very easy to understand. After we need to add, before we will subtract. So the age of father we got. Similarly, we'll find age of son, meaning after 4, we're talking about the age after 4 years. Okay, so age of son, son present age was y, so after 4 it will be plus 4, y plus 4 years. So we got ages of both father and son after 4 years. Father after 4 years it is x plus 4, son after 4 years y plus 4. Okay, we got. Now after making this thing, after getting this thing, now we'll go back to the statement again and compare their age, because we need to compare their ages. So they say it, statement says 4 years hence he, father will be 4 times. So here we'll write therefore age of father. Okay, he will be father, he means father after 4 years, father is this. So age of father 4 years ago, 4 years after, will be means equal to. Earlier in place of is, for this is I use equal to. Now here will be means equal to 4 times as old as his son. This is the age of son after 4 years. So y plus 4. So simplify it. X plus 4 multiply 4y, 4 and 4 16. Now we can write in standard form. X, this 4y will come here, we can shift here, minus 4y, and 16 when you bring here it will be 4 plus 4 here, and the 16 becomes minus 16 equal to 0, and you will get x minus 4y. 4 minus 16 gives you minus 12 equal to 0. So this is your second equation. Okay, so we got two equations. First equation was this from first statement. Second equation we got here, this one from the second statement. Okay, so finally we got pair of linear equation. This is first and this is second. All right, so this whatever calculation we did, so this is required. Okay, so this word based questions or statement based questions are not difficult if you understand the statement and if you know how to convert that statement into algebraic form or equation form. things will be easy afterward. Okay, so we found the equation, right? Now the first part is over. The question, it was asked to represent algebraically, so we represented algebraically this two, equation 1 and 2, which we got this algebraically representation. Now we'll go for the graphical representation. Okay, now we'll try to plot graph for this. So rule number 1 is over. We obtain the pair of linear equation. Now rule number 2. Now we will use this 2 and find solutions, and based on that solution we'll plot the graph. Now let's see how to do. Now according to rule number 2, if you remember, we need to find solutions of 1 and 2, equation 1 and 2. Solution in the sense, we will assume certain values for x, either for x or y, and get the other one. Let's see what is that, how to do that. So now I'll use the first equation from equation 1. It's given x minus 6y is equal to 0. Okay, x minus 6y equal to 0. Okay. Now for our convenience, or for that assuming the values, what that rule number 2 was telling, or rule number 2 all about. So what we'll do, x and y, two variables we have, we'll assume one variable with certain values, and then we'll find the other variable. This is very simple. Remember one thing, if you compare x and y here, the coefficient of x is 1, coefficient of y is 6. So 1 is lesser than 6, 6 is bigger here. Ignore this sign now. So whenever we find this type of equation, you go with the 1, variable containing 1, okay, coefficient 1. So I will go with this x here, and 6y I will shift towards right, equal to 6y. I don't have any number there. Now this is I got new equation here, new relation, not equation, new relation, x equal to 6 times y. Actually this was nothing, but we got here only. Okay, now once we do this, well, once we shift the variables, always we try to do this one. This way will help you to get the values easily. Okay, now what we'll do, right hand side we have 6y or y. So what I will do, I will assume the value of y, at least 2 value we will assume for y, and accordingly you will get the value of x. So here I will assume, putting right hand side y equal to, let me take any 2 value, 0 and 1. You can think any, you can go for more than 2 values. That's why I say at least 2 value. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, and but two values I will take, 0 and 1. Randomly I took here 0 and 1. So putting this, we get x equal to 6y. Okay, this is what we got here. From here only we'll try to assume and find. So assumption was done for y, 0, 1, and we'll find x accordingly. So 6y here, this y you substitute by 0. 6 into 0, you'll get 0, right? So when y was 0, now another value, and x equal to, now second value was 1, 6 y will replace y by this 1. Okay, 6 into 1, 6 into 1, so this will give 6 when y is 1. So we got two sets of values for x and y. When I took y as 0, I got x as 0. When I took y as 1, x we got 6. Okay, so here I will try to make one table for this. After this calculation, let me do here only. It doesn't. Okay, you can do anywhere. So this table is required. As if you remember, in class 9 only you did this thing. One table is required to plot the graph. Okay, so this is how we make table x and y, x first and then y. In our discussion also we did this thing. If you remember, if you see that discussion, you'll find, if you remember that discussion, you'll find x and y I kept there. So here I took intentionally two values. You can go for more than two. So first I assumed y as 0 and 1. So y, in this y row I can write 0 and 1, and x row, first value was 0, second value was 6. For 0 it was 0, and for 1 it was 6. So this is how we get the table. Okay, x0, y0, x6, y1. So using this coordinates or this point, we can plot the graph. Okay, so this is the thing one must remember. After having the equation, you must find this table. This table will help you to get the actual graph. So this is rule number 2. Okay, this is how we find values for x and y. Remember the rule number 2, what we learned yesterday. So this is rule number 2 only, and this is for equation 1. Okay, now same thing we'll do for equation 2 as well. We'll get two such table. Now let's go for equation 2. From equation 2, it is x minus 4y minus 12 equal to 0. Now do the same thing what I told you here that time. The coefficient of x was 1, y was 6. So I kept the smaller one here, x, and shifted this y towards right. Same thing we'll do here. X coefficient is 1, y coefficient is 4. So we'll keep x on left hand side, and both these terms will shift towards right. So x equal to, shift that, minus 4y, when you shift there it will be plus 4y, minus 12 will change to plus 12, 0 we don't need. So this is what we get. Okay, now this relation will help you to get the values, or we can say to get the table. Okay, so table is required here. So I advise all of you to understand this rule what I explained here to get this table. Again I'll explain here how to get this table. So once you know how to get this table, plotting graph is very simple. Okay, now here, as in the first case, here again we have y on right hand side. So always we try to assume this value, the variable on right hand side. The way how I did here, y, I assumed y as 0 and 1, right? So same thing here I'll do. Now it depends, in some question you may need to shift x towards right. Okay, so whatever you have on right hand side, whatever you will get on right hand side, you can assume that value. Okay, now putting y equal to, here also we can go for the same thing. Sorry, here I wrote 2. No, this is 12, not 2, 12. Okay, so let's go for this. So y, now here if you see one number, this 12 is quite big. Okay, so usually what happen, we try to keep values, smaller values one, like see 0, 0, 6, 1. These are the small numbers, smaller number. So 12 is somewhat bigger number. When you go for plotting graph for this type of number, you need little big space there. So we can modify here, we can manipulate this value here to get a smaller value. So here I took randomly 0 and 1 because nothing was added or subtracted in this case. Here if you see 12 is added. So if I use 0, this part will be 0 because y0 means 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 12 is 12. 12 is quite big. So we'll try to reduce this. Okay, so if I use here I use in place of y, if I use like -1, just in order to make this value smaller. Okay, you can use any value, it makes no difference, but just to get convenient value, smaller value, we can do like that. I'm using -1 and -2. We get x equal to, see, 4y plus 12. So let me use first value as -1, 4, y as -1, -1 plus 12. How much you'll get? This 4 into -1 will give you -4 plus 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. So 8 is smaller value, not that big like 12. Next, 4, y is -2. I assume -2, so write -2 here, 12. So 4 minus 2 is -8 plus 12. 12 minus 8 will give you 4. Again, small value we got. So both the values for x and y we got. Now let's make the table. X, y. So the assumed values for y were -1 and -2. -1, -2. And accordingly we got x. When I took -1, I got x as 8. And on taking -2 for y, I got x as 4. So we got the table. Okay, so this is how we make table. So rule number 2 is over. Rule number 1, rule number 2, both the rules are over. Now we'll go for rule number 3, that is to plot the graph. Okay, now let's see how to plot the graph. If you see the table, the maximum value, if we see compare the table, the maximum value, highest value is 8. Okay, I have a small one. So 8, that is in x-axis. X is 8. Here x was 6. So let's do accordingly. There is no bigger value other than 8, so we can make use of this easily. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go here. Let me write somewhere here. So here I will keep y-axis. So now I got the x is this, we know it is x, here it is y, this x dash, and here down y dash. All right, now this is the origin. We can mark the interval here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So maximum value was 8, so I took 8 only. May go beyond that, 9 also you can mark. So scale what I took here is along x-axis 10 smaller division, 10 small division as 1 unit. Same thing I did in y-axis, 10 small division equal to 1 unit. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing, left side is negative, -3, -4, -5, -6, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so this axis are prepared. Okay, done. Now one thing I want to repeat again, in graphical part, diagram, whatever you do in mathematics, never use pen. Okay, so here just in order to make this graph distinct and clear to you, I use pen. But actual in your case, when you plot this graph, whatever geometrical figure, mathematical figure, always use pencil, good quality pencil, ruler, and wherever it is required graph, you go for that graph paper. All right, so we got the graph in the sense we got the axes, x and y axis. Now we'll plot this thing. The first, if you see here, the first value, first table, this was the table for equation 1 and table this for equation 2. So first, the way the rule, what how we take these values, use this table to get the graph, is we go for this way, up and down. Okay, x0 y0. So x0 y0 is nothing but the origin. See, this origin will be that 0 0. Okay, next is 6 1, x6 y1. You see, x6 is here, this is plus 6, and y is 1, y1 plus 1 means upside here. No? So this from 1 you will move towards right till you reach this 6, right? So 1 and this 6, wherever they will meet, we need to put one dot there and cross it, and make one circle. Again, see, this is x equal to 6 and y equal to plus 1, both are positive. So first quadrant, this first quadrant, second quadrant, third and fourth, which you have done in class 9 last year. Okay, so first point we got. So this coordinate is nothing but 6 1. So I can write here 6 comma 1. So always write this coordinate. Second, okay, we got actually first coordinate was 0 0 here. So let me write 0 0. Now first coordinate, second coordinate we got. Now we need to join these 2 points to get the line. So this will give you, use sharp pencil, sharp and good quality pencil, so that things will be distinct. Now just you need to join and allow your line to go throughout the graph paper. Okay, that space available in your graph paper. So this is the first graph I got, the first line I got, passing through 0 0 and 6 1. So remember yesterday I used one point P and something like that. So these are the points. The first coordinate 0 0, second coordinate 6 1, 6 1, right, 6 1. So this is the first line. So I should write the equation. First equation was x minus 6y equal to 0. So always we should represent that line by the equation. So you got the first line. Now for second equation, second table is there. So using this table we'll try to plot the second line, second graph. And remember, we do in the same graph paper, we don't need two different graph paper. So the values here are 8 and minus 1. X is plus 8, y is minus 1. So x is plus 8, we know, plus 8 is here, and y minus 1 is down. So we'll go downward from this towards right till you reach 8. So this is the point. So this is your 8 and minus 1, this 8 minus 1. So first value we write for x, second value for y, 8 comma minus 1. Okay, so this is the coordinate, first coordinate of second equation. Now second coordinate is 4 minus 2. X is 4, y is minus 2. So x 4 is here, and y minus 2 obviously downward. So minus 2 you go till you reach 4. So this is the point, second point we got, and this one is 4. First we write value of x is 4 and value of y is minus 2. So always write this coordinate. So we got 2 points once again. Now we'll join these 2 points. Okay, so this 2 point, now we can join them. and as I told you, let your line go throughout the space within the graph. Okay, so this is how we do, and try to use, as far as possible, try to use one complete graph paper for for a better and distinct graph. Okay, that lines. So if you use small size graph paper, many students they do, when you use small size graph paper, the figure may not be that distinct. So that's why it is advisable to use, full size graph paper, this size, so you'll get very distinct, sharp, and better graph. So this is the graph we got. Now second equation was x minus 4y minus 12 equal to 0. Done. So this is how we plot graph. Okay, so according to question, it was told father it was told to represent this statement situation algebraically and graphically. So algebraically, equation 1 and equation 2, this 1 and 2 we got algebraically. Then this was rule number 1. Then this all, whatever we did to get this table, this is all about rule number 2, second rule, and the third rule is here. Okay, so this is how we represent any statement algebraically and then graphically. Okay, so today we learn how to plot the graph. So in our next class we'll try to see the solution from the graph. Okay, solution from the graph, that we will do in our next class. Okay.